From Working Title Headquarters in Baltimore, Maryland, it's ITRS with Jordan BDJ Taylor. Tonight's guest, recording artist, Shadow. And recording artist and producer, Android number 23. And now for your host of ITRS, BDJ.
Good, y'all. Back here for another week of ITRS is live. Your host, BDJ, aka BD from the county, aka the voice of the county, aka I see the game like Romo, aka I see the game like Lamar, aka dream big, fight twice as hard. Listen, today I'm here with a very brief message for y'all. We're gonna get to the interviews. Don't worry about it. We got Shadow, we got Android number 23 recording both on the same day this time, so there'll be no sporadic outfit changes or background changes on my end. Listen. The important thing we gotta do in this world, man, that we don't do enough of, we gotta ask questions. We gotta be more skeptical of shit. That's how you learn more. You know, Score he once told me back after we were done recording, we finished recording the episode, we were having a conversation. He asked me something. I said, I don't know. He said, you should ask more questions. That's how you learn shit. It's important. And I don't know, it stuck with me, but not really in the moment. But the more I think about it, the more you realize we don't know what we don't know. You know what I mean? So always be open. Always be real. I'm in the office right now. Got the good brother Max Scott with me. Got the good brother he back at it with me. I was like, damn, bro, you killing that shit. You feel me? Like you doing this and you doing that, but all that stems from him asking questions and looking up the answers of how do I insert this video here? How do I tweak this? How do I tweak a sound effect? So while that's a basic, slim example, apply that shit to anywhere. You feel me? You eating McDonald's. Question what's in that McDonald's. You on social media and see a headline, question the source. So all in all, just ask more questions, man. I'm not saying be skeptical, not saying shoot everything down, but question, explore, learn more. Again, like I said, a brief one. But we about to cut to a brief commercial break. Hopefully you hit up Score Swayze about some advertisements so you can start bringing in them bucks. Y'all know what I'm about to do.
Got it hazy in the booth, it's hard to see in this bitch. And in the lab, I'm steady cooking Lil B in this bitch. And all my diamonds white like yayo, got a key on my wrist. I get the pussy, make it stretch like Monkey D on the bitch. Hey, look, what? Where the cash at? Put the dollar sign in front my name like it's the cash app. Smoking, get a rope, and so I rolled aloud and passed that. Had to change my number, bitches stalking like the NASDAQ.
That sounds a little better earlier in the season, but it's all good, man. I appreciate the class and applause regardless. But listen, our first guest today, the rapper. Man, this guy, he got bars, man. I don't really use phrases like that, terms like that lightly, but this dude can rap. Hopefully y'all heard of him. If not, he's sure to be on your radar after this interview. We got the man Shadow.
What's going on? What's up?
Yeah, how you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm chilling. Just blessed to still be here. Breathing another day, just making music, you know how it is.
Yeah, that's real. That's real, especially in light of, you know, the current climate in America. I don't even know why we say the current climate in America. The climate in America,
Right.
For a black man, for a black person, period. But man, I see you locked in the studio. I see you in there working. What you got? You got some a production up right there. I see some wavelengths and shit.
Oh yeah. This is a joint that I started working on last night. That I'm working on right before you called me for real. So yeah, I got a couple joints open, some anime figurines or whatever behind me.
That's dope. That's a dope. The one thing about ITRS, yo, we love a dope aesthetic.
That's a bet. Yeah, man. I usually am in here dark. I only got the lights on because obviously we on camera now. But usually, you know, I have it dark or whatever, and then I don't know if you can see like the red lights. I had that just kind of fading in and out, red, purples, all that type of stuff, just to get the vibe right, get the mood going.
Yeah, how important is ambiance when you're creating?
How it's the most important thing, because like, I mean, you can come in with all of I don't record like other people's studios. I do it my own, recording myself, but like. Anecdotally, you can come in with everything written and ready to go, but if the vibe not right, you might not deliver a performance in front of the microphone that is actually worth using. So for me, Like when I'm writing, when I want to record, when I'm even just brainstorming, I need to have a space set in a way that like is the stuff that I enjoy. So like I got stuff from like The Walking Dead, you know what I'm saying, right here.
Yeah.
If you watch My Hero Academia, you know what I'm saying, I got a little All Might
Huh?
and some other stuff, some Avatar stuff, comic books that you keep that's not in view and stuff like that. Stuff like that. But yeah, that's just what I do to make it right.
That's dope. Now I gotta wonder what my studio would look like. It'll be I would definitely have the LED lights in there, without a doubt.
Must.
What else would I have in my studio? I have a Tupac poster. I have some kind of Spider-Man something. You feel me?
Hold up, I got you. You said Spider-Man something? Hold up, I got you.
The suspense is killing me, ladies and gentlemen.
Get you with
Oh!
little Secret Wars.
That's right.
When you first got the Venom suit.
Oh yeah, you in your bag.
Oh yeah.
You in your bag. But we're gonna get into the creation, we're gonna get into the production, we're gonna get into all that. But first, every interview of Inside the Rapper Studio has to have an origin story. So before we get into what you got coming up, before we get into all the big things you're working on, what's your origin story? And it's so appropriate that you pulled out a goddamn comic book right before the question, man.
That is funny.
That's called the
I mean, I guess I started rapping probably like 5th grade. So I went to 2 elementary schools. I went to Madison Square before they closed down up to like 2nd grade. Then I went to Thomas G. Hayes before they closed down up till 5th grade. So when I was in 5th grade teacher had a daughter who wrote songs, and she wrote over this Kanye joint. I don't even remember the song, but she wrote a graduation song for us to perform. So I'm like, I got to do like a half a verse, and I was terrible. I was trash. But like that was the first time I ever got like experience with music outside of church or whatever, because I grew up in like a real churchy family. So like once I had that happen, it was just, that's when I knew I needed to be rapping. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, that's heavy. So how did that so that's when it started. That was the genesis. How did that kind of play itself out over the rest of your life? Because clearly you're a long way removed from elementary school.
Yeah, that'd have been like 17, 18 years from now. But pretty much like just growing up, going through middle school, whatever, I was like, I'm still short. I was hella short, like hella overweight. So I wasn't like a part of the in groups or nothing like that, which is whatever, is what it is. But for me, writing raps was always like a catharsis or whatever. So I'm like writing raps because somebody might have said something to me during the school day that I wasn't fucking with. So I go home and I write a rap about how, like, you know what I'm saying, if I could really bang when I was a kid, like how I want to get it in with him or whatever. And then I went to high school. When I went to high school was out Owens Mills. I went to McDonough. Okay. And there was a teacher there who had this music tech class. His name was Mr. New. And I think when I was in 10th grade, I started taking his classes. And that's what got me into like recording and stuff. He's teaching Pro Tools, Reason, all that type of stuff. So really from there, like just being at private school for high school and kind of getting that knowledge and just growing up in the city, you know what I'm saying? I'm from over East, growing up in the city, seeing what you see, you know, you grow up, you put 1 and 2 together, just made for an easy marriage for real.
Got you. And it's dope that you got to go somewhere that kind of cultivated that at that age, you know what I mean?
For sure.
It's always cool to hear that. So when did you start feeling like, okay, I'm a rapper now?
Well, I mean, I was arrogant my whole life. So I at 11, I felt like I was a rapper when I was writing absolute garbage. But I really started to get proud about what I was writing maybe a couple years ago. Like I took a point after I went to college. I took a point where I stopped writing raps for maybe like a year and a half. And I spent more time just listening to music because I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere. I felt like I hit like a ceiling. And, you know, it's at that point where I just was able to reflect and be like, this is why my raps suck, because I'm spending too much time trying to be a lyrical, miracle, spiritual, and not giving any care or attention to actual music. And once I started to embrace kind of musicianship and realize like I'm writing a song, like I'm not just going on the radio to rap, you know what I mean? That was the point where I really started to feel like, okay, I can really rap.
Damn, that's fire, bro. Can we get some applause for that? Audience must be on night. I know it's allergies. There must be that clarity or something going on, man.
Zyrtec.
Man, Zyrtec got them slumped. Tylenol, Benadryl, all that.
They still hung over from a couple days ago. 420. That's what it is.
You got a couple projects under your belt, but I know that you're working on an album too. So I want to do this. Bear with me. This is the first time I ever did this, but look. So say we had a origin, a starter pack, three songs that you feel like if nobody ever heard of you, nobody heard of Shadow, they could go play these three songs and get a full feel of what you're about. What would those three songs be?
No Games off of this EP I put out called Shadowboxing last year with my guy 9-7 from he's from Texas, but I think he lives out in California. Way Up off of Earth Tones and Grayscale, which I put out in 2019. That was like the first time I tried to really make a joint over joints with 808s in it. So like, and in the second verse, I really smoked that. And then I guess for the third one, because I'm so into bars, like, and No Games is like a song, and Way Up is a song, but there's some bars in it. I got this joint off the Shadowboxing EP called Shadowboxing, which is the last song on it. And that's just like 3.5 minutes of just raps. Like,
gotcha.
And that's when you want to know like what I'm about, what I get up for when I'm coming to the studio. I ain't got no song ideas or whatever. Just like Wayne said on that Drake mixtape, you go in there, load up the clip, ammo, like
ammo,
it's
nigga.
that. Yeah.
Man, hit clips. But let me ask you this. So we went through your origin story, went through your starter pack, but the origin of your name never came up. Why Shadow? Why no A and no O? Like, what made you choose that name and style it that way?
For sure. So it's an acronym. And like I mentioned earlier, rap was always like a cathartic piece for me. So a lot of it came out of what like I felt like I had like real low self-esteem about coming up. So it was being short, it was being fat, the H is for heavy, it was being dark skinned, and like being smart, W-wise.
Wow.
So I took the A and the O out. And the reason the initial name was going to be Shadow Moses, which is from the Snake Metal Gear Solid stuff. That's the name of that location. And I picked that because I'm a big Super Smash Brothers fan. And I was playing with Snake one time and it was like Shadow Moses. And I'm like, oh shit, that would be a hard name. So I just cut the Moses, cut the vowels out of Shadow. And the point is like the stuff that you grow up with, your past, like it's always there. So like if you walking or whatever, you look down, you see it. It might be in front of you sometimes. And that's an obstacle that you gotta get past, but it might be behind you at other points. And it's just fueling, who you are going forward.
Heavy. That's heavy. Damn, I like that. I like that a lot. But I'll be remiss. You mentioned Smash Brothers, right?
Yeah. Score,
as you know, is the Smash Brothers ambassador for the Mid-Atlantic region. Another phrase. Saturday Night Smash, he does a Saturday Night Smash tournament. He does all the content around it, videos, commentary, a whole league, a whole federation, if you will. Can we count on Shadow entering into a Saturday Night Smash tournament?
When I buy a Wii, yeah. Or not a Wii, a Switch. When I buy the Switch, yeah.
Okay.
Because the last one I played the joint on the Switch, the Ultimate joint, but I just don't have one because I ain't got time for that. But when they drop the new joint that's supposed to be 4K, then I'm going to get that one. And then once I get that out, I definitely have to make a run through on some Smash, pull out Falco or whatever, and show people what I'm about for real. Falco, Samus, Link.
But let's pivot here, right? Because we talked a lot about comic books. We talked a lot about different things, different influences you have. I want to know about some of your musical influences. Who were some artists that influence your sound, maybe your cadence, maybe your bars, whatever it may be?
I think that if I had to, Jay-Z one, because he's the best rapper and just influence. Like I aspire to be the undisputed like best rapper to have ever lived. That's a goal in my head, and to do that, you gotta beat the one that it is right now. So Hove, Drake, I like Drake a lot. Drake from the standpoint of like I got into Drake like 08, around when Brand New came out, it would have been that time, something like that. Mm-hmm. So that was the first time that like I was only like 12, 13 at that point. So on like a pop radio standpoint, that was the first time you was hearing somebody just bounce so effortlessly between like these real simp ass songs and like rapidy raps.
Yeah.
And so like I got some simp stuff in the tuck that ain't nobody heard. That's actually what this file is up on the computer, right? Some hella simp shit. But so yeah, Drake, Wayne, obviously growing up in that time period, can't ignore Wayne. But I was always like a big Ludacris fan because of how animated he was. with his delivery, and he was like somebody that really took. Same with Busta Rhymes, really teaches you how your diction and how you articulate can really drive forward the rhythm in the song and how the bars actually land. So I would say those guys primarily. Childish Gambino too. I'm just looking at my records to see. So I don't leave nobody out.
That's a fact. That's a really solid list too. Kind of diverse, but you can't find fault in none of them names, man.
Sade.
Oh, Sade. I see.
Definitely.
He threw
Love
playing and it wasn't even a goddamn rapper. Oh,
Yeah.
A queen.
Absolutely.
A queen. Real quick. Are you watching? I know you're a comic book fan. You watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Of course.
What's your thoughts on that joint?
So I ain't gonna hold you. I thought it was gonna be whack, like out the gate. I thought it was gonna be pretty bad, and I was not as excited because the guy who is writing the script is one of the writers for Empire, and I'm sure you've seen Empire. And at some point, you stopped watching Empire for a reason. So I'm like, oh shit! Like I don't want to sound like I'm hating, but like I'm just being for real. Like I was like, oh shit! Like this is gonna be trash. And then you watch that first episode, and it's like hella like aggressively black, like where they trying to like we know this is about to be a show about racism. I'm like, I don't know if they have the range to be able to tackle this in the way with the nuance that it deserved. And like as I've watched the show, 5 episodes later, I love this shit, to be honest with you. Like there's some stuff that I could have done without. There was a point where they centered some of the white characters, I thought a little bit too much given what the show is about. But the way that it's actually unfolding and then just kind of the comic book stuff that we got, I really enjoy. I like how they took Flag Smasher and made it really an entity or like a collective rather than just a singular character. And I thought that is particularly poignant, that choice to make given the state of the world right now with all of this talk about revolution and like radicalism and stuff like that. So you get to see that on camera. Obviously, there's a bit of propaganda to it because they're the villains, you know what I mean? And kind of in awe, real life, we probably wouldn't view them that way. But no, I think it's dope. I think they're doing it's cool. I'm excited for the last episode.
That's fine, man. By the time this airs, the last episode will have already come out. But,
for sure.
Hey, I agree with everything Shadow said, man. We talk a lot about music and stuff on this show, so I don't really get in my MCU bag. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier is it.
It's not better than WandaVision though.
It is. It's significantly better than WandaVision.
No, it's not. No, it's WandaVision was sensational to me.
Why are you saying that? You just like sitcom?
All right. So you like sitcom, huge X-Men. X-Men is that's my thing. That's what got me into X-Men and El Diablo. That's what got me into the comics and stuff. Scarlet Witch has been one of my favorite characters for like 15 years. You know what I'm saying? So to finally actually see her get to step into that, like being the first time they actually call her that, the first time she's in real Scarlet Witch like garb, the first time she does chaos magic, when we get to see Agatha Harkness, I'm like all of that, the children, you know what I'm saying, they're very clearly issuing in the Young Avengers with the stuff that they're doing, White Vision, that whole kind of House of M sort of picking stuff that they did. I thought that was real dope. I think that's going to bounce off like a lot of the stuff we want to see going forward, maybe some Fantastic Four related stuff and other stuff will kind of come back to what we saw in WandaVision.
Yeah, I feel like my thing is this: it wasn't a bad show by any means, but for it to be the first show out the gate after the drought, it just didn't live up to it. And you got the built-in, I don't know what the word is, the built-in of like you really are invested in X-Men, really invested in Scarlet Witch. I'm more of a Spider-Man guy. Spider-Man was like my number one. I'm locked in, tapped in. So the rest of the Avengers and the rest of the, I guess X-Men, I like X-Men a lot too, but the rest of the Avengers and the rest of the storylines kind of just for me. So I think if they would have been able to lead off with the Black Widow fighting in the Winter Soldier, WandaVision like they intended, I think that would have been like a home run money lineup. But just the expectations were unreasonably high for WandaVision. So when it came out and it was good, and it was like, okay, well, we expecting this cameo or this to represent that, or we had this deleted scene, or Monica Rambeau was supposed to knock out 15 niggas and she just ended up doing it. You know,
so I think that Quicksilver shit, I think that was like they playing with us. I think he's actually Quicksilver, and I think that they're going to show that he's Quicksilver in the Doctor Strange movie.
See, I don't know, bro, because again, let me put my nerd cap on real quick, my Libra cap. the guy that wrote that scene was the same guy that wrote the Mandarin plot twist in Iron Man.
Well, wasn't it Avid or whatever his name is. They need to keep him away from stuff because that Mandarin shit was terrible.
And he never saying shit in the WandaVision.
But they did say that the WandaVision, Spider-Man, No Way Home, and Doctor Strange is supposed to be like a sort of a trilogy. So I'm holding out hope that the dude Jimmy Woo, the Asian character, the FBI agent, said that there was a dude that was in witness protection, and we never found out who the witness protection person was.
It was Quicksilver.
Yeah, so I think it's Quicksilver from the multiverse.
Okay.
So and that's why he's in witness protection. I think that's what's going to end up happening. I hope that's what ends up happening. Otherwise, that was just a waste of a character. So I guess I gotta wait a year before I decide like how I really feel about that. But
we're gonna mark it down right now. What's the name? 23rd April?
Yeah. 23rd or 22nd.
422. Mark down BDJ. Saying it, planting my flag.
Yeah.
That Ralph Boner shit is trash and it's not gonna be made a payoff for it. That shit was dumb. But listen.
I hope it's payoff, man. I do. The Loki show looks crazy though.
Yo, that shit like
Loki show looks serious. That time variance authority stuff they want to do, that looks hard. That Kang the Conqueror stuff that's supposed to happen in the future, all of that. Yeah. Man, I'm excited about that.
The potential is sky high for everything.
Yeah.
We could sit here and nerd out all day.
For sure.
We got a show to do. You feel me? We're definitely going to have you back on in some capacity, even if it's just like a nerd out type session, sure. Nerd out type segment. You feel me? Because comic books in general are just higher than they are between all the MCU shows, the Snyder Cut. We got Invincible over.
Snyder Cut was terrible.
You ain't like the Snyder Cut?
Snyder Cut was terrible. Wow. Zack Snyder is, in my opinion, one of the most overrated filmmakers in modern film history. Damn. Like he made Sin City, which was cool. Watchmen was amazing, and 300 was cool. But like all of your movies can't have that same tone. Like I don't want to see Sin City, but with a Superman outfit on. I don't want to see like Wonder Woman, but it feels like I'm watching Xerxes get kicked into the pit or whatever. You know, like I don't want to see that. You know what I mean? And they sacrifice, I think, storytelling for these absurd CGI effects and ridiculous slow-mo. And that movie could have been 2 hours if they cut out all the slow-mo.
No, it was a lot. It was a lot of over-inflation. I will say that. But I like seeing the Cyborg story. I think that's what really made it worth it. Just seeing his character get fleshed out and seeing how the magnitude to which his powers really saved the day for real. Yeah.
Yeah, Cyborg can be OP. So that was I will give you that. That was a cool thing to see that flesh him out a little bit. They could have done more with the Flash character, but
I'm also team fuck Superman. Superman's boring. Superman sucks. He's a dork. He's a cuck. I call him Super Cuck. Actually, that's my name for him. But like I said, we been nerd out all day. We got another interview I gotta get to. But listen, Shadow, let them know what's next. We got the album you working on.
Yeah, the album. I'm not going to tell you the title of the album because I don't know when this is going to air. But if it airs in May, you will be hearing the title of the album pretty soon. It's going to drop this summer. I got another single that I'm about to roll out with. Again, I dropped Big Up with Chris Cassius. He bodied that shit. I bodied that shit. And y'all haven't even heard the whole song yet. And that's what I'll leave it.
Oh, shit. Where can people find you?
At Shadow Raps on everything. That's SHDWRAPS.
Yeah, that's a bet. Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Listen, on the other end of the break, we're going to have the one and only Angela 23. Make sure you stay tuned. And if you want to advertise, hit up Score Swayze because your advertisement would be right about
ITRS is brought to you by SHDW. It's just fucking television. And Working Title Podcast. Catch all new episodes 11 a.m. every Monday morning. Back to the show.
There we go. That's the energy. That's what the fuck I'm talking about, crowd. Yeah, yo, studio audience. I guess the night court wore off, or it might have been the Red Bull we served during the commercial break. But listen, our next guest, rapper, producer, engineer, event coordinator, modern day Renaissance man, the one, the only, Android 23.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you for stopping through the rapper studio, bro. So, every episode of Inside the Rapper Studio has an origin story. So, Android 23, back when Dr. Giraud thawed you out of his lab. What happened?
Well, origin story. I started out on the bus with my homies. They convinced me I couldn't rap. They tried to convince me I couldn't rap. So I've been making music since 10th grade because I went back to the crib that same day, recorded a little freestyle to Nuck If You Buck, and and I could rap. So that's what it's been. But I mean, since then, like the true origin story has been going through different changes in life. I chose the name Android number 23 eventually because an ode to anime, an ode to Michael Jordan, and I wanted something that made it so that I never took myself too seriously, you know. So that was kind of like the whole idea behind the name. But I've been rapping in the Baltimore scene since like 2013. Doing shows. I've dropped a few projects. I got another one on the way. And yeah, it's been a hell of a journey. COVID definitely made me just stop and look inside myself and kind of try to figure out where I want to go with this. But
What did you find?
I found that I've been going in the right direction kind of the whole time. But I also found that I definitely should put like a deeper focus on myself. Because when I first started this, I was in a collective called Miles Sobriety. But since then, a lot of falling out has happened, egos, little back and forth things. So 2020 was kind of the first full year where I was like, you know, just all about me. But then a lot of stuff got shut down. So whenever things, you know, get open back up again, I'm ready to go full force and just put my name out there and put everything out there, focus on myself, really honor myself, you know, like doing things that I know that serve me and not always looking to play the superhero or save the day or, you know, look out for somebody else or because I've been that type of person. There's nothing wrong with looking out for people, but I definitely think I'm the type of person that's done that to my detriment sometimes. So it's time to be selfish, pretty much. It's time to be selfish. It's time to talk my shit. It's time to flex on them.
I like that a lot. That selfish point is interesting though, because I feel like it might kind of clash with you as a producer, because as I feel like from a selfish perspective, it's like I'm gonna get mine, but as a producer, you kind of have to set somebody else to get a good bucket. You know what I mean? So how do you navigate wanting to put yourself first, wanting to win, wanting to show niggas like I got this 23 in my shit for a reason, versus putting people in positions to succeed?
That's an interesting one. So I will say that first and foremost, as like a producer, I've spent plenty of time like making beats, and I've done that for years. But as of last year, it was a lot of focus on you know, just kind of like trying to hear music differently and trying to see things full circle. with that being said, what I've ended up doing on this project that I'm working on is I've relegated a lot of the duties to two different producers, and like I'm kind of letting my ear do more executive production. Then outside of that, I'm spending most of my time working with really only one or two artists right now. And these same people are my day ones, like my boy Joey Bricks.
How to Joey Bricks, good man.
Good man. Yeah, that was like my first and only friend in college. Like I was a very introverted dude, and I went to Morgan, and that was like my one friend. Like we met in our freshman English class, and he actually joined the collective Mild Sobriety as like a clothing designer because he was really into fashion and stuff like that. But like somehow just being around me, he got into the studio, and that's kind of how like him being a rapper was born. So I'm with him a lot, working on music like all the time. And then my dude 4K Michael, same thing. Like he's somebody I've known for shit, like 15 years, because we met back at back in African church for real. Like that's how we first met.
The African church?
African church, yeah.
Can we get some applause for African church? That's better than Sunday to Sunday. God bless.
But
dope, bro.
But yeah, he actually many people might not know because the first project I ever dropped, which isn't even on streaming, it's only on Bandcamp, called Another Cold Winter. He produced that whole project. That's back when he was like very deep in his producer bag, and a lot of niggas in the scene wasn't fucking with his beats. The sound was very eccentric, but I know that I did a few, and then Butch did one, and that was like, ever since then he's really been focused on his rapper shit. But that's the other person that I've been working with, day in and day out. And my focus has really just been working with people that are serious about the music, because I done worked with people before when I was in this collective, and it was really just like giving dudes a free pass and doing stuff for them, and they never really did much with it or took it anywhere because they didn't have skin in the game.
That's where that draining aspect comes into play, and like you putting all this effort in and putting all this shit out, and niggas not reciprocating it. So I definitely feel it.
Exactly.
Going off of that though, I kind of want to ask you this. I don't know why I say I kind of want to ask you this. I'm going to ask you this. How important is it to have that diverse bag? Because you talked about Joey Brick starting off as a clothing designer and then going to music. You talked about 4K doing production, then going to rap, and you yourself do rap and production engineer. How important is it to be that 5-tool prospect, for lack of a better phrase?
For us in this scene and like in Baltimore, I personally think it makes all the difference because it's a city where we get it out the mud. We don't have like a lot of those industry resources. So everyone here tries to do as much by themselves as they can. And for me, especially, I can say that having those different, diverse aspects of my game makes you see things from a completely different lens, to the point where like now I'm not even, I'm barely touching the production on this next project, but the way I see it is like, so full circle.
Let the cat out.
Yeah. But the way I see it is so full circle, and even when it comes to like the engineering, I'm having someone mix the record now, but I can tell dude exactly what I want him to do.
Gotcha.
And even when he sends a record back and I hear it, I can hear certain engineering techniques that he used and like reverse engineer it just off the strength of what I know, and tell him like, yeah, well, tune that down a little bit, turn down the parallel compression on that bus over there because I can hear you got that on the vocal, stuff like that. So it helps me to really step away from my music and have less of that personal bias, so I can really like craft it into perfection, as opposed to like, just putting some stuff out and thinking it's the hottest shit in the world because I made it,
Was it hard for you to take that step back and delegate some of those things?
Yes, the harder part was it was hard for a few different reasons. Because first of all, you always want to be in control of things. But the other part that was hard was like recognizing that I needed help to do what I want to do. You know, like to be that guy and to refine myself as like the rapper Android number 23, like, you know, like the dude that goes on stage. I knew that I needed help to do that. And some of these people been trying to help me. Like my boy Colin been trying to help me. I went to high school with him, but like, you know, it'd be a little touch here, a little touch there. He did one song on the last joint, did a song on the other joint. But for me, it was like being able to just let go, relinquish that control, accept that I needed help to get where I wanted to go, and to have trust in these people, especially the engineer. Because even though I've known him for a minute, like, there's a way I want my shit to sound. And the first track that we did together this year, we did 12 or 13 different mixes before it got right. And I remember after each one just thinking, damn, this isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work. Oh, I'm so nervous, like this isn't gonna work. But he just kept reassuring me, like, listen, no matter how many attempts it takes, we're gonna get it. And when he finally got that home run hitter, I'm like, damn. And then the next one I sent him 2 mixes, and I'm like, damn, home run. So like, you know, it's already going way smoother, and it was really like the trust aspect that was the hardest part.
That's what's up, bro. So before we get out of here, tell me about the project you got coming out. It has a name that I cannot pronounce or spell.
So the project is called Vert Rene. I'm gonna just break the whole thing down. Vert, like Lil Uzi Vert, but like with an E at the end, means green in French. It's a name that means rebirth. So the whole idea of the project was like, I got out of this relationship and I felt like a new person in good ways and in bad. But one of the biggest things I learned was like, at any moment in your life, you can decide to just be someone else. You know, like you can decide to change who you are. If there's things you don't like about yourself, you can change them. If there's things you want to do, you can do them. Like, you never have to be held to this idea of like what you were, especially if what you were wasn't that, you know, satisfying to begin with. So for me, the project is about, you know, just reinventing myself, and growth, but in the sense of like unlearning, you know, because people talk about growth and it's always based on like, you know, you go forward and you go up and you grow older, but sometimes the most important parts of growth is shedding the stuff that you already had learned and picked up along the way. And that's why the idea of rebirth is so important to me. That's what the project is called. It's entirely produced by Garcon, dope ass producer out of Virginia. I just met this dude, like he just came up to me one day, like as a fan, like just seeing how he rocked my music. But then I was like, all right, yeah, like, you know, let's try to lock in one day. We took our time, and then when we finally did lock in, first session, boom, home.
That's dope. That's fucking dope, bro. So let people know where they can find you at.
Okay, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at AndroidNO23. I'm on SoundCloud, Audio Mac, Apple Music, Spotify, Android number 23. That's Android NO.23. And yeah, thank y'all for having me. I really appreciate the shout.
Listen, special thanks to Android number 23. Special thanks to Shadow. This has been another episode of Inside the Rapper Studio. I'm your host, BJ, aka People from the County, aka the Voice of the County, aka I See the Game like Romo, aka I See the Game like Lamar, aka my shit shining and no leave me for you. I'll see y'all back here next Tuesday at 7. Tuesday at 7, world premiere. I might actually for all y'all good people that hop into YouTube every single week, I might hop into YouTube comments this week and troll y'all a little bit. But hey, again, Android, thank you. A lot of gems in this one. Make sure y'all run it back. Until next time, peace, y'all.